we finally got leaks, real photos, front, back, left, right, folded, unfolded, of the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 and Z Flip 6. These are to be released on July the 10th, here in about 3 weeks, give or take a day or two. July 10th, we're going to live stream. Please join us for the Samsung Unpacked event. We will live stream. I don't know if Samsung will let me live stream it while they're live streaming. I'm going to try. But anyway, whether you watch it or not, when it's over, immediately come over to our channel and we will discuss. Now, it'll be in Paris. You know why they were launching it in Paris? That's because the Summer Olympics are happening in Paris this summer, next month. And Samsung is sponsoring. They're the major sponsor of the whole Olympics. So typically, the launch of these foldables aren't till the end of July. This year, since they're sponsoring the Olympics, they said, you know what? It's right around that time. Let's bump up. Let's move our foldables release early at the beginning of the month. So when the Olympics start, we can advertise it. And it's pretty cool for the athletes. They're going to give a gift bag. It's going to have a Samsung Z Fold 6 and Z Flip 6 in every Olympic athlete's gift bag from Samsung. So I thought that was cool. So which one do y'all want to do first, the Flip or the Fold? Let's get into the Fold, right? Now, a little bit of bad news. It's going to be expensive. Yes, it's going to be more expensive this year. We've gotten into it. Why they're increasing the price. I'm not going to get into it now because it's a little explanation, but it's not going to be cheap, right? Now, I love the Flips. I'm not a big foldable person. Not that I don't like the design or how it works, but the size. I have a size issue. Pause. Not like that, but it's a weird, when it's folded closed, it just does not feel like a phone, right? So when I want a foldable, now minus the Flip, right, which you can flip it right open, but the Fold's like a book. So when it's closed, when it's folded closed, it's just too weird. It doesn't, when you use the outside display in the past, it did not look like a phone. I want something that looks like a regular phone that opens up into a bigger form factor, right? And I think they got it on this one. I really do. Now, unless Samsung sends me one of these, I don't think I'm going to be buying one. It's $2,000. And I know the Pixel Fold 2 is going to be right around there as well. I do anticipate getting a Flip 6, however. That one's much anticipated and also upgraded as well, right? So, here's the outside of the Fold. Not many cool color options. It looks, as of right now, a black and a white. These photos came from the same source, the Flip 6, Fold 6, and it looks like it came from a manufacturing plant. I think they manufacture these. I had a Samsung box here. I think they manufacture these in Vietnam, if I'm not mistaken, but let's go see. So the Fold 6 and Flip 6 dumbing units, or units that are not ready to use yet, show off the display crease and design. So those of y'all that were hoping to have a flat screen when open, a zero crease, looks like you're going to have to wait at least one more year. Yes. So this one does have a crease. Now, it's hard to tell from these photos. Is it a 20% less crease? Is it a 13% less crease? I don't know. From the naked eye, from this picture, it looks about to be the same. And I mean, look, they're probably going to say, because they have, technically, it has gotten the crease and down the middle where you fold it, or when it's open, has gotten a little smaller every year. And when they launch it, if you watch this Unpacked event, be on the lookout for, I promise you, they're going to say, because remember, Apple has patented a hinge with a zero crease display. When their hinge is open on whatever device they put it on, it's going to create a flat display. Samsung knows this. Now we know this. I guarantee you they're not gonna talk a lot about this, but I guarantee you they will say it's a 20% reduction increase, something like that, just to make you think. Every year you hear that, makes you think, well, shoot, they're going to get down to a zero crease at some point, correct? Now look at this. Interesting. This is the Z Fold 6 folded shut, right? Looking down at the top and the bottom of the device. One device is on its head, one device is sitting on its right side up. No S Pen. No S Pen. That was rumored to come with an S Pen this year, just like the S23 Ultra. However, it does not appear to come with. Now, I'm talking about one you can put inside the device. You can still buy an S Pen and use an S Pen with this device. You just can't put it inside the device, right? So, you got a mic at the bottom. Lots of microphones. You have one mic at the bottom, 3 microphones up top, and you get a speaker on the top, a speaker on the bottom, a USB port on the bottom. Love this design. It is a flat, boxy design, sort of like the S24 and S24 Plus. No more rounded edges. And here is the side of the device, right? There's the 5G antenna. Here is obviously the volume down. You know what? That's the power button. And I think they put a why is that black? Did they put a fingerprint scanner in there? I don't know that yet, but it looks like they might have one in there. Interesting thing. They finally did away with last year. So like every year these get a little better and a little better and a little better, right? Right now, as we speak, as we sit with assuming, let's move ahead a month and these are already released. These are the first foldables I would personally recommend people to get. In the past, there was something that I thought would not satisfy the average person, right? The Flip has always been plagued with battery life issues and poor camera quality. The Fold series has always had camera quality issues, as well as the hinge on here not folding completely flat. So when you fold it flat, the screen needs to touch the screen. Well, it doesn't need to, but it should. It looks nicer, because in the past it would sort of look like a TP, where you would collect a lot of lint, a lot of dust on the inside when folded closed. And now they've got the devices completely folding flat. And they improved upon all those things that I just mentioned earlier, right? So this is the Fold 6. Now, let me see what the dimensions are. We'll get into the Flip. I thought I put it in this one. It might be another article. I wrote a couple on here. Yeah, it's going to start at like $2,000. Z Fold 6 dimensions. Okay, so the Fold 6 dimensions when it's closed: 153 millimeters tall, 68 millimeters wide, 12 millimeters thick. Now, when it's that's when it's folded closed. When it's open, it'd be 153 millimeters tall, 132 millimeters wide, and 5.6 millimeters thin. That's pretty thin. They've actually reduced that, and the weight of this is going to be coming in just under what last year's model is, right? A weight of 239 grams. Now, just to give you an idea, the iPhone 15 Pro Max is 240 grams. So Samsung's giving you a much bigger form factor with the same weight as an iPhone 15 Pro Max. Now, when it's open, it's going to have a 7.6-inch AMOLED display. And it'll have 120 hertz refresh rate. Now, before we move on to the Flip 6, I have some news that is pretty interesting. I don't think I added it to the site. Did I? I did. Sorry, I've written so much stuff lately. So, Samsung's also going to be making a slim version, okay, of the Z Fold 6. Now, that's interesting because, as I just mentioned, when the Fold 6 is opened like a book, it's only 5.6 millimeters thick. Pretty freaking slim. They're going to one-up themselves and put out a special. Now, remember there was an Ultra rumor. There's going to be a Galaxy Z Fold 6 Ultra. Well, apparently that rumor that talks about of an Ultra model actually turns out to be this. It's going to be a Z Fold 6 Slim. So we don't have pictures of that right now. The photo added above is a stock photo of a Fold 5, but I was trying to find a leaked photo, and there's just not one yet. It looks like it might not come to the US though, which is a bummer. But they're gonna prepare a slim version at the end of 2024. So it's not going to launch alongside this normal Z Fold 6. It's not ready for launch yet, and that's probably why there's no photos yet. It's not been sent out for certification. It's not been sent out to these case companies for cases. It has not gone through the manufacturing process where they're putting it together and production process. So that's why there's been no photos, but it is in the works and it is a go. Samsung gave this a green light, but we don't know what markets it's going to be in. And we don't know how slim it's going to be, which is pretty freaking amazing. I know I've been talking a lot about the upcoming iPhone, not only the iPhone Flip, since we're speaking about foldables, but the iPhone Slim or iPhone Thin, whatever you want to call it, that they're going to come out with in 2025. Next year, Apple's coming out with this with the iPhone 17 series. Now, I think Samsung put this in motion. I think Samsung gave this the green light simply to one-up Apple. Samsung and Apple notoriously go back and forth in media, in products, in commercial advertising, all sorts of stuff. They always looking to one-up each other, right? Kind of like their arch nemesis. Even though they do business together, right? There's plenty of parts. If you open up an iPhone, many of those parts you find or you take off the internal components say Samsung on it, right? But I think since the rumor came out that Apple greenlit and is going to manufacture an iPhone Slim, iPhone 17 something, right? Slim. It's going to replace the Plus variant. I think that's why Samsung gave this the green light, and I think that's why it's not going to be released with the other foldables with the at the normal launch on July 10th, right? Because if they had this planned in the books, it would have been ready to launch with the other foldables. That's why this is not coming out until the end of the year, right? So even if this comes out at the very end of the year, they're still going to beat Apple by 9-10 months, right? Because Apple's event is every September. So the Samsung's got probably about a year to get it out. But we've heard from insiders they're going to release it before the end of the year. They want to release it as close as possible to the launch date of July 10th with these other ones, because it's technically going to be a brother-sister device model from the normal foldables, right? From the Fold 6. So how thin is it going to be? Again, 5.3 millimeters thick. is very thin. So what is this going to be? 4 millimeters thick, 3 millimeters thick, possibly. And how much is that going to cost? We've heard rumors going back to the Apple iPhone. Not only the flip but the thin is going to be very, very expensive. Upwards of $2,000, right? That's the normal one starts out at $2,000, which is insane. What is this going to start off at? $2,500, $2,900? I mean, this is getting kind of ridiculous. Daniel says China has traditionally got the best versions in the past of the Z series. Really? With the W series in gold trim, ceramic black, 1 terabyte, 16 gigs. Wish those were global. No kidding. Because from what I've heard, no, I agree with you. I'm saying, I think, yes, this might be released. You're 100% correct. The countries where I've seen this possibly getting released is China and South Korea, obviously Samsung's home country. So that would be interesting. You're right. I don't know why they wouldn't release this for the United States market. It's going to be dubbed internally. It's the code name is the W25, right? So it looks like it might not come here, unfortunately. It looks like they're going to stick with the ones that they give us here in the US. However, if you really, really want this device, you can find one online, probably eBay, maybe Swappa. But you're going to be paying a pretty penny for it, right? So let's see. So the regular Z Fold 6, as I mentioned, is going to be 12 millimeters thick when folded and 5.6 millimeters thick when unfolded. So that's what I'm saying. So how much thinner are we going? Because 5 millimeters, what is this? 7 millimeters? So 4 millimeters roughly be half of this. So take the bottom half of where the charger is. Look at this. So look where the charger is, right? Take the bottom half of where that charger is and slice the phone kind of like you're slicing a from sideways. That's probably 3 millimeters thick on the bottom half of where the charging port is. So my goodness, that would be amazing. And I heard Apple's iPhone 17 thin or 17 slim is going to be around 3 millimeters thick, which is insane. You almost have to wonder, I doubt it will survive Jerry Rig Everything's bend test, but unless they put some kind of, I don't know how they designed that structurally, especially if you want it to be really light. You can't use steel, although it's so thin you might have to, because I would imagine these things would bend pretty easy. Let's see. That's all the info I put in there. Yeah, I was wondering if I've written so many articles and stuff today. I apologize. I put this up here a little earlier today. So it looks like it's just going to be for the Asian markets, Asian countries, unfortunately. But I'll definitely keep an eye on this. I want to see this when it comes out. I think it's very interesting. Cannot wait to see what it looks like. It's going to look like the other ones, but it's going to be razor thin. And again, they're doing this to try to one up Apple. I guarantee you, right? I guarantee you. So we got the Fold 6 and the Fold 6 Slim, right? Let me move this over here. Yeah, gold trim. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's all good. Let's see here. Let's get into the Flip series, right?